Hey y'all, welcome everybody. We are Black Girls Talking TV. We are bringing the group chat to life and talking your favorite TV shows. This week we are talking The Bachelor, the most recent episode. And before we get into it, make sure you follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get our next episodes. I'm Kamaria. I am an attorney in the DC area and I'm also a pop culture writer.
And I'm Victoria. I am a psychologist in New York and Illinois. So let's get straight into it. Let's just start with the rose ceremony.
Mhm,
Okay. I
mhm.
feel like this was the most intense rose ceremony yet. I don't know if it was that lineup shot where
Yeah.
they was all lined up before he came in. But I was like,
Yeah.
baby, this is intense.
Yeah, and it was just so few of them. I was over there counting, and I was like, I was counting who I thought was not going to get a rose, and I was miscounting and all things. I just never. Alex was the one that surprised me. Just knew she was going to get a rose. Just
Yeah.
hands down knew. And so I was like, who else? It's going to be Alex. It's going to be Letia. And I thought maybe I was like, it's a toss up between Juliana. I knew Carolina. I was like, he got to let her go this time.
Yeah.
Like, so I knew something
Absolutely.
was going to happen with that, but I was over there trying to figure. I didn't think Dina. I was like, Dina, how did Dina get here? Not that I have any major issues. She definitely seems quite level headed. To be honest, I thought she was going to be more of a villain and more drama than she was to me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, Zoe was a surprise as well, though.
Really? I thought he was gonna keep Zoe. I thought it was odd that she didn't get the
I
one-on-one.
didn't. That's what made me think he was going to keep her.
Yeah, yeah, it was a toss-up for me, but I was actually surprised that he kept Dina over
Mm.
Alex or Serafina, quite honest.
Yeah. Yeah, with Serafina, like I said last week, I needed to see more from him about what it was that, was drawing him to her.
Yeah,
And so, I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure with that one. But I felt like they felt like they could be the most normal like couple,
yeah,
but it still never I couldn't really all the way see it. So
yeah.
I was a little bit surprised, but not 100% surprised.
I think the thing that kept Dina around though was kind of like what we said about last week's episode, right? Like Dina came in and was like, we can do this together. You don't have to
Mhm,
take on the load of everything and be
mhm,
this all or nothing guy. And
mhm,
I think that really like resonated with Grant
mhm,
and
mhm,
probably gave him a sense of safety. So
mhm,
that's why I was like, maybe this is why Dina was getting it. But I felt like between Dina and Serafina, who had the one on ones last week, that he had more of a connection with
mhm,
Serafina. They just seemed like they
mhm,
just had
mhm.
more fun. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Like, I guess that's what you were saying is that you would have expected him to pick Serafina over Dina. Dina wasn't in my lineup. Like, she just wasn't.
Oh,
So I'm not sure where this is going. Like, to be honest, from his picks, I can't tell. I don't even say that Latia is in the front anymore. I think she's in the front, but like it's a slim margin. This is a very razor thin margin because I feel like these picks are all different. They don't fall into like if
yeah,
he had picked Alex and he had picked Juliana and he picked Latia, I would and maybe Serafina. I'd be like, okay, this he likes a nice, classy seeming woman and a very soft spoken, not super loud type of woman. But they're all different. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And Dina isn't giving mother vibes. I mean, not saying like she won't be a mother or a good mother, but she's just not giving that, and that seemed like what he really wanted. So he could be anybody at this point, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
no, anybody. Let's see it. The people that caught up on you. They on your heels, girl. You gotta.
They are
They on your heels. But
yes, they on her heels. Yeah.
so yeah, but I felt for Serafina, and I felt for Alex, like I
Alex,
said, because
yeah.
I could tell that Alex wasn't getting as much one-on-one time and much as the edit, but she started off so strong. I was like, there's no way she's like out of it, right? But
Yeah. I think that's
apparently,
also a disadvantage when your one-on-one date is more towards the beginning of
mm,
the season, right? Because it's like he had more time to kind of focus on everybody
mhm,
else after things had already started to be developed, right? It was like
mhm,
Alex, they had this initial attraction, he took her on
mhm,
the date, and of course they have like, their one-on-one time through the group dates and the
mhm,
rose ceremonies, but he had all this accumulation of these smaller moments with everyone else and then took them on a date. So it was
mhm.
almost like more of a buildup,
A build up, yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
kinda, like, touched on that when he was talking to Zoe, and Zoe asked, "Why didn't I get a date?"
Mm,
And he was like,
mhm,
"It's not about the quantity of time, it's about the quality of time that I have
mhm, mhm,
with you." Um,
mhm.
so, yeah, RIP Serafina and Alex, we love y'all. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate for them, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. What'd you think about like Carolina was one of the ones who got let go as well, but like there's just all this drama leading up
Yeah,
to the rose ceremony. So let's talk about that a little bit, because like it was just a lot. It
yeah.
was too much. It was too much, and it's like she acts like she doesn't see what she's doing. I'm very glad that he decided to let her go and realize that there's a lot of drama coming from this end of the equation. Like, come on, Grant. So I'm
Yeah,
glad he let her go.
absolutely. I mean everything, like her even just walking into the group date with that stank attitude, I was like, "Come on
Mhm.
now, girl."
Yeah.
And then like she tried to flip it and say, "If I don't do anything, it's a problem. If I do too much, it's a problem." No, girl, you're just a problem.
Oh, stop. But no, the thing with her for me is like it's very childish. It's childish because like you pouty behavior is childish. You know what I mean? Like as adults, you don't pout. And not only that, it's childish outside of the pouting for the fact that you chose to be on the show. You chose to be on the show with this process that's going to play out how it plays. Like, there's going to be you with all these women. You're going to be not receiving a ton of his time. Like, you chose this process, and it seemed like all of her complaints were about the process. And so that further to me made it feel like it's childish. And then secondly, it's this what's the opposite? You're a psychologist. I don't know, protest behavior. You know how they talk about protest behavior? It wasn't protest behavior, but it's attention seeking. I don't know if there's a name for that, but like it's attention seeking
It was
behavior.
attention seeking behavior. It was.
Yeah. So it's like she's set to the side to she know what she's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what you're doing. You going over there to sit down and you think he's going to like just mosey all around and not take care of you. You're seeking attention. And so when Dina called her out and was like, it is what it is, like whether he asked you or you asked him, girl, you were the one who did this. So
right. Yeah. Yeah, you have free will. Yeah, I literally wrote like she's using her emotions to manipulate the entire situation and the entire day.
mhm,
Um, because every single time she has showed up in a group space with overwhelming emotions, Grant has
mhm,
just ran to her side and catered to her and tried to figure out what was going on. And it
mhm.
leads into whatever is happening in the group setting being ruined.
Yeah. So
So when he did that again, I was kinda like, are the producers not saying, "Hey, you giving Carolina too much attention?" They're probably like, "Child, we need it for TV, so
yeah,
go
this is
ahead."
yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, you see everybody over here upset and frustrated with
Mhm.
how she's acting. On top of that, you walk into the after party for the group date. Did everybody have a good time?
I know, right?
It's like, "Great, now you know
Read
everybody
the
did not have a
room.
good
I
time."
know. Read the
Everybody was
room.
having a good time until you decided to go mosey off with Carolina and go sit on a rock
Yeah.
to listen to her
Yeah.
cry and say the same thing she's been saying since day one.
Yeah. I think like in that situation, like he is put in a tough spot, but I think that there is a level of like you gotta leave your like I think sometimes he wants to be this saver of the damsel in distress, right? And sometimes your role as a man is not that. Like you're not that's not for you to do. What is for you to do is sometimes hold space for the person and say, he could have gone over there and said, "You seem like you're not having a good time," and just said like, I really want to tend to you, and I want to, give you some space, but I'm gonna give you time to gather your thoughts, gather your feelings, and let's have a little time later, during the cocktail hour when everybody has their like one-on-ones. Because I don't want to take away this experience right now from everybody, but I do see you, I do hear you, and I want to make you, understand that you have a safe space in me, right?
Yeah.
Something.
Point blank period. Yeah, it getting back into the whole like she doesn't know why she's here, she's questioning things.
Mhm,
I was thinking like, Grant, this is something you've heard before. It
mhm,
literally caused a lot of drama the last week. Rose went home because of all of this, like on her
mhm,
own.
mhm,
Why are you entertaining this conversation right
mhm,
now?
mhm. I think I was gonna say I think that like for Carolina, she almost was like treating it like they were like a boyfriend and girlfriend, and she's looking for
Yeah.
reassurance. And I was like, "You're not gonna get the rose is gonna be your reassurance, girl. Like this is not the process where you're like, I just want to know that you're in this. Like that's the way she almost was like, should I? Are you in this? And it's like, girl, he gave if he giving you a rose, he's here with you as far as he can be with this experience.
Right.
And I understand, like I said before, this is a very unnatural experience, but you signed up for it. So that's
Mhm.
my view with her. So I don't know.
Yeah, even
And
when she left, it was like, I am disappointed, but I wish you the best.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a little salty. But I was about to say how Serafina shut her down, and she was just like, "We are not talking about this anymore. We are not like you're
Yeah.
done." And I was like, "Okay, see, that's mother energy right there." Grant needed to see that moment. That's mama
Okay.
energy. Mama's coming there and shut it down. We're not doing this. No, right here. Sit down. Sit down.
Literally.
So I was like, yeah, sorry that she wasn't able to keep going, but that was she stopped the situation. She did
Yeah,
what she
she
needed
did.
to do.
Right. I was proud of Zoe too because I was like sometimes people like that like you do just have to act like they're not there. And so
Mhm.
when they were having the conversation about her and Zoe was like, I just wouldn't be the person to sit here and cause drama and bring negativity in the room. Like it just does absolutely nothing. And she stood there with her good posture.
Yeah, yeah. Zoe knows she be the shoulder be like there.
No, I did a class, okay? But yeah, when she did that, I was like, period. Because sometimes people need to know that, like, you're a non mother effing factor,
Yeah.
okay? And you're not about to come up in here and disrupt the room and the energy all the time the
Yeah.
way that you think you are. So I was like, kudos. Because when Dina got up there, I was with Carolina. Not good points for a lawyer.
Yeah.
However, I was like, Zoe treated you, and then Serafina came right back. Was like, we're
Yeah.
shutting this conversation down. We're not about to keep diddling down and back and forth in the
Yeah.
BS.
It's
Okay, like
done. You
she
dealing
want
with
to
a
act the way
crazy
she want to
person.
act. Leave her there.
Yeah, yeah, no. It's cutting out the nonsense. So totally agree with that. What about Dina? Pulling him to the side. What'd you think
I
of
was
that?
like, producers, if you don't give me this conversation, all this, I know you can see what I'm putting down. I know
Oh
you feel
yeah.
what I'm saying. I was like, why are we getting this chopped up, edited version of the conversation? And then at the end, all of a sudden, Carolina's name is being mentioned. We know she's talking about Carolina. Grant
Mhm.
knows she's talking about Carolina. Let's just call a
Oh,
spade, and have a
maybe
real conversation.
maybe she didn't want to seem messy by talking about like using names or whatever, because it seemed like that was intentional on her part rather than like production editing, because she was like, you see what I'm dropping down, you see the hints or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I think I know. But I was surprised with Dina earlier in the like at that moment when he said, the person who I value most. We should have known then when he said that. I was like, whose opinion I value most or who I respect most. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I caught
Dina?
that.
Dina's? And I was so surprised then, but that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta pay attention to the signs because
Yeah.
that went in one ear. I was like, a little weird, and I let it
Yeah.
go right out. But it was a sign that he has a high opinion of Dina, and I will say that Dina has I have a high opinion of her higher than I had in the beginning. It felt like she was maybe going to be a mean girl,
Yeah.
but she wasn't. She was really nice, and she also seemed to be very level-headed, and probably because she has a career she has to walk back into, so she's not trying to be over the top with how
Yeah.
she acts, and she's trying to be appropriate. So
Yeah, I think she carried herself very well through the season, quite honestly.
yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of people were expecting her to be like this mean girl or
Girl,
to
yeah.
be the villain.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
she did say that comment about Vicky. I thought that was, was she
yeah,
toxic?
it was a little
It was
mhm,
a little, but we all have,
yeah.
have it. So
Alrighty, so let's get into this date with Letia.
mm. Yeah, so it was nice and it was a lot, there was I definitely think he is feeling her, and she dropped a bombshell on him. I don't know where that's gonna go, but he definitely seems like he's feeling her. Like she be looking at him like I'm not gonna do this well, but she be like this, like all the time. This is Lucia, like like Lucia, like
You're perfect. Yeah,
this is
just
Lucia, like
the way
I
you are.
girl,
Love you
like
down, Letia.
yeah, like them eyes be open. Like I'm like, let's see ya. Blink a little bit. And I have big eyes, so I'm not even, I'm not coming for it, but the Tia be like this, like a cartoon character.
Yeah, it's like her "I'm engaged" face. I'm listening.
But no, I think she's very. Oh, I thought you said unengaged. I think she's very
No,
engaged.
no, no, not necessarily. Like, I'm engaged. Like, I'm in this conversation
Yes,
with
she'd be like
you.
this. Yes, yes.
But he loves that
So,
though. He love it. He like,
yeah,
yes. Let
I
me
know.
look
He
into them
like
eyes because he be looking back.
Yes, yes. So they were crying. It was a very emotional date. And I think also Latia seems like a simple woman, but also very principled. And so it's not just like whatever you want. She seems very principled and like has her values. And so I can see how he could see her as like a really good fit for being the mother of his children, a wife.
Yeah, I do wonder why it has not worked out for her with other men in the Mormon faith.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I was interested to know that because she's a very beautiful girl. Again, very
Hmm.
level-headed. She seems like
Hmm.
she walks and leads, like, with her values in mind.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
doesn't mind, advocating for herself, probably advocating for others, like, you get all of that from her. And she also has a really good sense of humor. So,
I didn't get
I
that.
was
What a sense of
getting back
humor.
in her clips,
What clips? I don't be
her,
getting it. Oh, yeah.
what is it called? Confessionals?
Confessionals, uh-huh.
Yeah, she be cracking me up in them confessionals.
She don't crack me up, but but I may just be missing it. I don't know. She don't crack me
I
up.
can't
Mhm.
remember the things that she said, but I was definitely cracking up. But,
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, "Why? Because you don't look like nobody else up in that church."
Maybe that's the problem. Shoot, I don't know. I'm not saying nothing, but who
But
knows?
that's what I'm saying. Are they
I know.
saying no because you look a little too colored?
I don't know. I have no clue. I do wonder about that, but it like I had totally forgotten she said she was Mormon. Like in the beginning, I heard her say that, and
I don't even remember her saying that.
unless I'm just mistaken, but I thought I remember her saying when she was introducing her family, and they were either it was a still clip or they were walking down the farm road, and I was like, all in white, like what I'm saying. That's when we got introduced to her story of being biracial with the dad. Was he Hawaiian?
Yeah, Hawaiian.
Something like that, yeah. And so I thought I remember her talking about being a Mormon, and I was like, okay, I guess it just means she's religious. But when she brought it up again, and it was this big moment, it made me pause for a moment and think to myself, like, wow, it is a big thing, So I wonder where she is with that and where her family is with that. Because if I was Grant, that would give me a little pause. I would need to see, like, Okay, in the hometown visits. Let's feel the vibe because there's very different types of uh degrees with regard to religion.
And I don't know much outside of media for real about the Mormon faith, but I just think the fact that she felt like it was such a
A
big
big
moment,
deal.
an important
Yeah.
thing, and like to lead with, I come from a very conservative family, to this black man with this very black family. I don't know.
Yeah. But did you see his face? Like his face, it kind of like dropped a little bit when he when he heard it, and it's like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. He was linked in. She said, I have something to tell you. I'm Mormon. My family's very conservative. He said,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, I don't, I, when I heard that, my first thought was, I don't know any African American
Mhm.
individuals who would hear Mormon and lean into it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
gesture of
Yeah, was, it's
was
cautiousness.
everybody's, oh,
Yeah, it's just like maybe there's just education that's needed. Maybe there's, what but it's not definitely something that is prevalent in the Black community. And so it's not something that is that, I was not surprised at his reaction. Not at all.
yeah. I would assume that she did not go on the show to date a black man for it to turn out that she couldn't date him because of her religion.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it is a cause for a pause. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
She waited a pretty long while to tell him. So
Yeah.
that just leads me to believe that it is very important to her. It's very much so embedded in who she is and who she would like to continue to be. And
Yeah.
like she said, to raise her
Yeah.
children under the Mormon faith. And that's a really big decision. That's a huge commitment because you don't want to be that person that's forcing somebody out of their religion or like making them have to choose between their
Yeah.
religion and you. But baby,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I don't think, I mean, like you said, I don't think that she would have come onto the show if she didn't feel like her family would be would be welcoming of him. So, I we'll just have to see, but it's more of like the lifestyle shift and the lifestyle difference that what is she going to be expecting of him? 'Cause like he said, he's, I drink and, yada, yada, yada. What is she going to be expecting of him is what my question is. And, you know, we'll see. But, the mom did seem like she was very, uh, excited
welcoming.
on the phone call. So she did seem
Yeah.
like she did have a good welcoming energy. So, I think it's just a little bit more of the unknown. It's not like saying that anything is going to be a particular way because she's Mormon. It's just an unknown. It's like it's not a factor that I think most Black people interact with. And so all you hear is media reports and things like that. So, in the hometown visit, he'll get to see for himself what it's like if he likes the vibe, but, sometimes he don't be picking up on vibes, right? So we don't know. We don't know if he's gonna,
Right.
what if they'll be informative and if he'll understand. Is this a space I can be at home in and raise my kids in?
Yeah, and Grant, you don't have to choose another struggle, baby. Let's get off the struggle bus. Y'all don't have to fight through religion to
Yeah,
say this
that's
is the
real.
one. You can just get everything you want in a woman, and it just may not come in the package of Letia for these
Mhm.
reasons.
Yeah, but it will test him to see if he is how committed he is. Not how committed, but how into her he is. Because he seemed like he about ready to be like, okay, I don't know. We'll see. He said she's worth it. Trying to explore it. So we'll see.
OMG, another thing he said was, "I'm gonna be better for you." You just made me think of that, like,
Oh, oh,
when they were
oh.
on their date. He's really into Latia. I was I was, like, hurting for him a little bit once she brought up her religion because I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, "Ah, like,
Yeah.
how is this actually going to affect them?" Because 'Cause I'm, like, kicking my feet like, "OMG,
Mm.
like, this is it, y'all, like,
Yeah.
the other girls can go home. They just about to wait it out." But he's
Yeah.
reassuring her that she is the
Yeah.
one that he wants to be with, but when she dropped that bomb, and a bomb it was.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll have to see. That was the thing that I think brought all gave the other girls a fighting chance to get up
Yeah,
on her tail is that because absent that they would be in her dust like they would not
absolutely.
be checking for her. But now it's kind of like okay, you know,
Yeah,
but
because
he
all
definitely is.
through that date okay.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say all through that date, he was dropping like, "I love being around her. I can see her being my wife," and, like, say it
Mhm.
while, saying it and looking at her like,
I
"It's
know.
just us." I mean, I screenshot, I was like, "Oh, you talking, like, you're into her," and I think she felt reassured that Grant was falling in love with her for sure, the way that she was responding to him, and, I mean, at the end, the producer was like, "Are you in love?" And she said, "Yeah."
But when he remembered her, like what she was wearing, he was like, "I remember the moment we started bonding or whatever that you really started singing." And he was like, "You were in that great dress or whatever." I was like, "Yeah, he's just, he's giving her all the signs, like, and she's picking up on him, and that's how I could tell he's just into her, you know."
Yeah.
But we'll see.
You will see the Mormon faith might be the thing. I said, "Oh, there is trouble in
Yeah.
paradise
Mhm.
now with this one,"
Yeah.
and that whole, "I don't know who to choose," I bet you it's because of
Ah,
this.
you think,
I
it
think
might
it's definitely
because of
because
the
of
yeah,
the
no,
religion, because
that
that's a
yeah.
big decision to make,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
again, like, people have, varying degrees in how they decide to participate in their religion, but
Mhm.
I think how she brought it up, when she brought it up, it shows it is definitely a thing
Thing,
that will
yeah.
exist in whatever dynamic she is in.
Yeah, yeah. That's very interesting. What'd you think about Juliana's date?
Not
I
gonna
mean
lie, I have absolutely no notes. I wrote nothing down besides the fact that, he said she looked stunning. I was
yeah.
like, "That's a word he doesn't use too often."
Mhm.
Um, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about
Sorry,
Juliana.
Juliana, I'm sorry, y'all date did not enamour me. Now, maybe actually they might connect on having the issues with substance abuse in their
I was
family.
about that's what I noted. Trauma bonding. That's what
Yeah,
I felt. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but that's what I thought. It was like, are y'all really because it was just like a lot of tears, a lot of crying, and it was like sometimes that can make it heighten the emotions,
correct.
and yeah, so
Again, because I don't know what he likes about Juliana.
mm,
I've never really, like, gotten anything from their connection. She's another one that I would have thought he would have chose Alex or Serafina over. I think the only reason why Juliana has been, like, at the top for a lot of people when they're, like, ranking their pyramids is because she's gotten so much camera time, and so it leads you to believe she got to the end, and she is towards the end, right? Like, but
mhm,
I don't see anything in their connection. That entire day, I was like, "There's nothing here that's making me feel like she was gonna
mm,
get chosen." I didn't think after that date she was getting chosen.
mm. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of feelings about her either. I don't know. I see in the preview for the next episode that like he kisses her in front of her dad, and there seems to be an issue there. I don't know. Her family seems to be like a definitely like in your face family.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I will say that if he picks Juliana, I would be a little disappointed. Like I, to be honest, I'll be disappointed if he don't pick. anybody but Letia or Zoe, to be honest. Like, you know, yeah, but I feel like I don't know. It's so interesting. But it's like at least with like Dina, I would be like, okay, there's something level headed here that I can see that you see.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
a
not saying that it's
logical
not,
it makes sense with
yeah, and I'm
Dina.
not saying that Juliana isn't like that, but I don't get a lot from Juliana in terms of like who is she? She gives me very typical girl who would go on a show and
That's it. That's it. That's all. This no, it's like it's nothing against her, right? But again, it's like there's nothing here. And I hate to say that after like, she's opened up about
mm,
her challenges and stuff.
mm,
But again, like all I saw was what you said, the trauma bonding.
mm.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I'm
Yeah.
excited for the hometown. So this will be my first time seeing what a
Yes.
hometown is like.
Yes. Yes. I was gonna also say too, the trauma bonding is so on par with who Grant is, and I think how he chooses
Mm,
to select a mate. Um,
mhm,
I it seems like he looks for similarities in a struggle.
mm,
It also seems like he is looking to like fix the idea of having a struggle through
yeah.
a relationship. And I just hope that he can at some point, whoever he's engaged to, that is not a driving force for their connection at this point, and like how
Yeah.
he's showing up as a fiance or a husband if they're already married.
Mhm,
um because I'm like, Grant, you deserve to be loved and to have a good time in your relationship and not feel like you have to fix everything that your father did.
mhm,
Like, it just seems like he's really like carrying that,
mhm,
and like
mhm,
there is the whole idea of like breaking generational curses and things like that. But at the end of the day, you have to sometimes evaluate where you are in life and
mhm.
realize how far you are from anything that looked like what you have
Like you,
gone
yeah,
through,
yeah.
and really like quantitatively look at it and say like, actually, I have so much distance from
Mhm,
this. It's no longer the crux of my story
mhm,
and who I am. um and so, yeah, I really do hope that for Grant, because he seems like a really nice guy. But I do
mhm,
think some of his decisions right now are being guided by that.
mhm,
And he's had some really nice ladies to choose from. So,
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I wonder, and I also wonder, does he go to therapy? Because he seems like he breaks down, and very it's emotionally a little. I mean, not like breaks down like it's all normal, but it seems like there are specific triggering things about his childhood, his upbringing, his dad, all that good stuff that I wonder if he has unpacked or hasn't. Because I think a lot of times as women we go into these relationships and we see it and we trying to like we see whatever pain or whatever. We do the same thing that they do, the damsel in distress with us, and we sometimes do it right back to them and be like, oh, emotionally we want to save them and make a safe space for them because we see that they're dealing with whatever they're dealing with. And that is important to create a safe space for somebody, but you can't save everyone, you can't. I mean, not everyone. You can't save anyone. You have to let them do the work on their own, and you can support them in saying like, I think there is a space where you could kind of look at unpacking all of that stuff, and I'll be right here with you while you do that. But I wonder if he does, because he's it seems to be very much a part of still like a nugget there that's bothering him, and it seems to be directing his behavior um in the choices, like you said, with women, and how he shows up. Like it's like Dina, I'm not trying to put Dina in the lead, but she might be a person who would be actually a good fit for his growth, because
Right.
don't
She's
think
gonna
she's
hold
gonna
him
allow him.
responsible for it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think she's gonna allow him to be, continue to be in this way. So she may be better for his growth, but I think that Latia is where his heart resides. But
Yes, we will see. My money is on Zoe and Letia at the end. I think
Really?
the hometowns are just gonna bring it right on in. I don't know, that clip
Really?
of Zoe's family, I was just like, "Why wouldn't you? Why
Hold up.
wouldn't you?"
Wouldn't you what? That didn't seem it seemed like the mom was questioning him or was I tripping?
Yeah, the mom was questioning. I mean, everybody parents gonna question, right? But
What was her mom black? Like, I
was
know
her
she
mom
said she
black?
was adopted.
Yeah, her
I
father
thought
was black. Everybody who was at the thing was black. So I was trying to figure out where the white came in at. Unless
I saw
she
a white, like, father figure,
Oh, I didn't
I
see
thought.
that.
But I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see
Assumptions.
when it does come to it, but I guess yeah, because I guess she's the only black lady left. I keep forgetting that Latia is not black, but she's the only black woman left.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But
Yeah, I
yeah, we'll
kinda wanna
see.
give it to her because she's indigenous. She come from indigenous.
Right, right. Because 'cause I'm like, give me some more pictures of the daddy because
It's somewhere in
he
there,
look
child. I don't know. I wanna know,
I'm
like,
like,
the father, is he Samoan? Is
because he had a
is
curly
he
curl of the
Tongan? What
hair
is going
supposedly.
on over there?
I don't know, but it's but also I think part of it is like her hair. I like it looks like a 40 inch,
Yeah, 40-inch
but
bust down.
it's her hair. So
Yeah.
I think that's also throwing me off is that like she looks like so many black women, but at the same time, it's like that is like that like her hair it doesn't seem like it curls beyond that. That seems like
Right.
that's her
Yeah, it's just
natural
the
like
wavy.
wave. So
Mhm.
that part I have to keep remembering that. But yeah, I said I started in the beginning and said I don't know who's gonna get it. Like sometimes I think it's gonna be between Latia and Juliana. Sometimes I think it's gonna be between Latia and Dina. And then part of me is like, well, Zoe is here. And I wonder what is happening, with that. What if it's Latia and Zoe? So I don't know. I really don't know. The only person I am sure or feel like I am for sure feeling like is going to be in the final two
Is
is
the
Latia.
yeah.
I would be very surprised if he cuts Latia before the final two. But I think you're spot on. The reason why he's having that back and forth is that Mormon thing and whoever else the other side, whoever's on the other side of that equation, you know.
Yeah. It definitely puts it on equal playing field, but
It's funny.
alrighty, y'all. Until next time, again, we are Black Girls Talking TV. Find us on all platforms at Black Girls Talking TV. Make sure you like this, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any episodes.
Mm,
Bye.
bye.